Hi, this is Dr. Gregory Sadler. I'm a professor of philosophy and the president and founder of an educational consulting company called Reason.io, where we put philosophy into practice. I've studied and taught philosophy for over 20 years, and I find that many people run into difficulties reading classic philosophical texts. Sometimes it's the way things are said or how the text is structured. But the concepts themselves are not always that complicated, and that's where I come in. To help students and lifelong learners, I've been producing longer lecture videos and posting them to YouTube. Many viewers say they find them useful. What you're currently watching is part of a new series of shorter videos, each of them focused on one core concept from an important philosophical text. I hope you find it useful as well. In chapter 13 of his work on interpretation, Aristotle, towards the end, is going to discuss how what we call modal propositions are connected with each other, particularly in relation to necessity, or anankaion, ananke, those are the Greek terms. And when we say that something is necessary, we're saying that it has to be the case. That, as we're going to find out later, it can't not be the case, or that it is conversely impossible for it not to be the case. So that doesn't cover everything, right? There's a lot of things that are what we call contingent or possible. As a matter of fact, most of the things that have to do with human affairs, other than we could say like the logical structuring of them, is not necessary. If there's a possibility of things being different, then it's not actually necessary. So Aristotle is interested in how these sorts of propositions that contain the term necessary, how that's going to work. And so he's got a general principle here that he makes reference to several times in this discussion, with propositions that are involving or concerning necessity, that where it's being predicated of something else, as he calls it, contraries, so enantia, follow upon. They are sequences of, or they are connected to, they're flowing from contradictories. And so contradictories are more of a type of opposition, a stronger kind of opposition than just contraries. Contraries can't both be true at the same time, but they could both be false, whereas with contradictories, if you've got two propositions that are actually contradictory to each other, one of them has to be true, the other one has to be false, so there's a greater distance between them, if you want to think about it spatially. And so he's going to give us an example of this, that the phrase, not necessary it should be, is not actually the negation of necessary it should not be. And it's easy to get things like this kind of mixed up. You might say, okay, necessary it should not be, what would the negation of that be? You might slip a not in front of it, and then you change the not, so you're kind of moving it around. And in Greek, actually, there's different terms that are used for this, we could say, negation thing. There's me and ou, and they wind up in different places. In English, it's a little bit less complicated because we use the same term for the not. These aren't actually contradictories to each other, as some people might think. And then he's going to, moving on from that, bring up, and this is towards the end of the discussion, he's going to talk about the relationship between necessary and impossible, right, or necessity and impossibility, all of which are, modal terms. And he calls this, what gets translated in English as an inverse relation between. So the Greek is antistramenos, and they are being sort of like arranged in relation to each other, playing off of each other. And Aristotle is very, very clear
that necessary, impossible, they're not meaning the same thing, but they, in very interesting ways, imply each other. So to say that something is not impossible doesn't mean that it's necessary, but to say that it's impossible that it not be does mean that it's necessary, right? If you say that it's necessary that it not be, you're saying that's impossible, right? Those are implications of each other. And so this is why he can say in some cases with contrary subjects to predicate impossibility of something amounts to affirming the necessity of the contrary of that. So to say it's impossible that, we'll take something that's, very straightforward and logical, that a thing should be and not be in the same way at the same time, the famous, law of contradiction or non-contradiction. To say that that's impossible affirms the necessity of that not being the case. And we could say vice versa, right? Affirming the necessity that something not be the case means predicating impossibility of it. So that's an important set of, we could say, rules or ways of understanding how these things are connected together. He's also going to clarify how it is that necessity and possibility are connected with each other. So to say that something is necessary or from necessity, possibility follows, right? Because, if you're going to say something must be the case, well, then it has to be possible for it to be the case. That kind of goes without saying, but he does actually say that there. Can you go the other way? Can you say that from something being possible, it must be necessary? Now, it's interesting, just as a side note, which is not discussed as such in this text, there were in fact some schools of philosophy that are contemporary to Aristotle who were saying if something is actual, it's possible in a certain way, right? It's not just possible, but actually the case, well, then it's necessary. So who would say things like that? Well, some of the Megarian philosophers. Aristotle doesn't buy that in his logic and metaphysics, we could say. Mere possibility does not lead to necessity, right? And I think we can all kind of understand that. He does bring in something kind of interesting, saying that we can talk about certain disjunctions as necessary. So from it must of necessity be the case or not be the case, we can actually conclude, it does follow, that it is possible or it may be, right? That's what it means to say that something is possible in a certain way. It could be this way, or it could be the opposite of it. It could be or not be, and to say it's necessary that it be or not be is to affirm possibility. So another interesting relation between them. And although Aristotle doesn't spell it out here exactly, we could say that the same relations that we just saw between necessity and possibility hold between impossibility and saying that it is possible for something not to be the case. If we say that something is impossible, we are asserting the possibility of it not being the case, right? We're definitely ruling out the possibility of it being the case. That's what it means to be impossible. And we could say this for other things as well. We can't judge from something not being the case that therefore it's impossible. The last thing that he's going to talk about is that it is necessary the contradictory to this, the proposition that if it is necessary is true, must, of necessity, pun intended, be false, is not going to be it cannot be. The contradictory is it may not be. If you see the difference between them, this brings us back to talking about the relationship between impossibility and necessity. Because to say it cannot be is the same thing as affirming impossibility. Impossibility and necessity are not actually contradictories to each other. The contradictory of it is necessary is it may not be. So what we see here is Aristotle is involved in clarifying the relations between these different modal concepts and propositions, affirmations and denials that are using them, very interested in figuring out what the real contradictory and not merely contrary to particular modal statements will in fact be.